Nigeria owns 4 refineries, 2 located in Port Harcourt and 1 in Warri and Kaduna. But the refineries have been moribund for many years despite turnaround maintenance efforts. This has resulted in the importation of petroleum products for domestic use to cover the gap in the refineries' output, costing the nation dear in terms of revenue. In 2015, former President Muhammadu Buhari pledged to revive the country's minimally performing refineries to optimum capacity and to boost foreign reserves by ending the importation of refined fuel. In November 2018, the Buhari administration fixed December 2019 as the deadlines for 3 refineries to attain full production capacity to end petroleum importation. Later in the month, the deadline was shifted to 2020. Even though the 2020 deadline was not realized, the government spent 10.23 billion naira in June 2020 on 3 refineries which processed 0 crude. In 2021, NNPCL said repairs had started at Port Harcourt Refining Company PHRC after FEC approved $1.5 billion for the project. In September 2022, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timiper Silva, said the country's biggest crude refinery in Port Harcourt would restart operation in December after it had completed a revamp that began over a year ago. But analyses in October last year showed that the timelines were met. Again, in January 2023, Mr. Silva assured that part of the refinery will be completed by the year's first quarter, but the government again failed to meet its target. Following the transition of power to a new government championed by President Bola Tinubu and his confirmation as the Minister of Petroleum Resources, Oil, Heineken Lokbobiri in August assured that the Port Harcourt refinery will be functional by December, while Warri and Kaduna will be ready by the end of next year. On Thursday, he announced the mechanical completion and the flare startup of the country's biggest crude refinery in Port Harcourt. Lokbobiri made the announcement during a media tour of the Port Harcourt refinery on Thursday. He said this heralds the commencement of production of petroleum products after Christmas break, adding that the subsequent streaming of Phase 2 of the refinery will be in 2024. The Port Harcourt refineries comprise 2 units, with the old plant having a refining capacity of 60,000 barrels per day and the new plant 150,000 barrels per day, both summing up to 210 barrels per day. With the promise of the facility starting to refine 60,000 barrels of crude oil after the Christmas break, this implies that the refinery can provide an estimated 10.2 million liters of premium motor spirits, popularly called petrol, and other refined products. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, which is the manager of the refinery, revealed that the second phase of the facility will be completed in the 4th quarter of 2024 and would lead to the refining of 150,000 barrels per day crude by because of our time, we quickly have to come back to that. So yes, this is the situation at hand. The mechanical phase has been completed. And what does that spell for Nigerians? Because there are so many there's so much confusion out there. People are saying, oh, so we can now refine our crude oil ourselves, and then they expect automatic reduction in the price of fuel and gas and other products. So what does that spell specifically for Nigerians?
Yeah, Nigerians have the reason to be optimistic, but regrettably, over and over again, most times they've been disappointed. And I want to be optimistic, and I want them to be optimistic once again. I think we can move on a positive note from this time on this specific issue of this mechanical completion, which practically means the completion and the handing over of all subsystems of the whole project to the operators, you know, and that you were able to achieve that. The secret of moving ahead is getting started, and it's a good thing that we've started, and I look forward to not stopping, so that we can actually meet the hope and yearnings of the millions of citizens who think and believe, rightly so, that they have no reason to suffer.
So let's quickly educate our audience very much of that. So what does it spell specifically? Is it that by tomorrow or after Christmas break, the price of gas, of course the government promised that the price of gas will reduce, but petrol, we're not looking at that yet. So can we address that quickly with Nigerians?
Well, it's not going to be open sesame now. It will be gradual. It will be gradual, and then you have a question of capacity too. I don't know the capacity of this
60,000.
60,000 barrels is still a drop in the ocean. Looking at national consumption and all that, but I believe that with that one coming on stream, Dangote too has been, to use a cynical language, threatening to come on stream. So I think they have 2 million barrels of crude oil in their kitchen now, processing it. So I suppose by mid-January at the very latest, you are going to see products from that one too. Then there's an African Petroleum in the same locality. It's a private sector. Apart from that, there is
there are 2 of them in Edo, like
yeah,
modular refineries.
those are very small, but
Yes.
those are already doing diesel, and the scale is very small. There's this Boa refinery, 200,000 barrels a day. Boa in Akwa Ibom, you know, to start producing tentatively April 2024. When all of these come together, you are going to have at least you are likely to pay less for fuel, likely, because you net up the basic economy. They talk of a proximity location of industry. If I don't forget my own level economy, location of industry that is very close to the source of raw material. So that is going to have a sort of effect on the pricing. Then you have the freighting, which is going to be off. You are not going to ship products within Nigeria, although you are still going to ship from the place to like Dangote, but it's a very short distance. But I think we have a cause to be optimistic. But let me say this: when things happen like this, people fail to track. My constituent media, we fail to track. We just respond. You know, like what was that psychology? React, you know, to something like the Pavlovian dog reacting to this thing. You need to track this thing. This is not the first time the federal government had tried to feed the refineries. A government came and said, look, we are going to do it. That government was the Buhari government.
For 8
Nobody
years.
is mentioning the government now. Everybody is lionizing the president. Look, the president was a lion. He was lion nobody know. He doesn't need the lionization. You know, but the people need to track that, because if you are looking at a two-way political something, you have PDP, you have APC. For their own tracking, strategic communication, if you tie it back, in our first 8 years, this is what we've done, going to now with the refineries. Nobody is pushing that now. Everybody wants to just overpraise the president. It's not the press, the media should be doing hard work. You track. But for the Buhari government, who stayed close to the goal, apart from the public sector, even the private sector, Dangote and Co., it was the government that gave them the operating environment. Even nobody was seeing it. So we need to recognize that and track it very well. And it's not yet a rule. This is just starting. It's not the first time that there will be claimed that they've fixed the public environment, only to break down another 4 months along the line. But how do I put it now? Fortunately now, you see private sector competitors. Boa is coming, Dangote is coming, African Petroleum is coming. A lot of them will still come, apart from the other little modular refinery. So when you have competition, they are going to have effects on the other, and the winner will be the consumer, who will be spoiled for choice. I'm looking forward to that day. And if we are able to manage petroleum, processing, if you are able to handle it very seriously, it will be the end of cost-put inflation in Nigeria, and we can only be better for the economy.
And then we wouldn't have to worry about the global price or
We have no
something.
business
No.
having to
Because we're no longer bringing in.
dependent economy, no. So the more we have local production, the better for us. If
Yeah.
you create more jobs, then the value chain is also there.
We have the market.
We
The
have
free market
the
is huge.
population is there.
It's
So,
huge.
And this is what I told some people, we should worry less about which country leaves the country. They will leave 20 times, they will come back
They'll come
1
back.
million times.
Exactly.
Because we have, all we need to put in place is infrastructure and security.
Exactly.
And they will be back. We have the population, we have the brain, the human capital is
We have
untapped.
the dynamism, we
It's
have everything.
dynamism. We have so much brains in the diaspora willing, dying to come back. We need good infrastructure and we need adequate security.
So let's look at, there are still some issues with the NDDC, talking about the Niger Delta region management and all, still talking about oil spill, environmental issues and all. And then there's still this issue of vandalism. Talking about vandalism, TCM was still complaining as that was a Thursday that some towers in Yobe State were brought down by vandals. So what measures would we suggest to the government now that this is budding, coming up, so to say? What measures do they really need to put in place?
I think it's a core security problem, and the security agencies have to work very closely. And there should be a security component to everything they do, just like the rail tracks. Before the Kaduna-Abuja terrorist attack, everybody was sure that nobody even thought of protecting those ab initio before the operation started. So you need to be start it now. And as far as the security, if you look at Nigeria, I think they started the Tantila guys. Tantita, I mean, Tompolo, he really wasn't somebody I cared. I mean, but like him or hate him, he has performed. That Tantita has performed. Like Yoruba say, it takes a fellow thief to tread the footstep of one on the rock. I don't know if I've got the So you have to put a homeboy there who knows the track or the book. They've done that. I think they should replicate that.
But NNPC is still saying that is not legal, that is not right, to have the national assets being, watched over by just one private person.
Again, pragmatism. You have the security agencies, they failed. Because they don't have the intimate intelligence. It's intelligence. It's intelligence driven.
What security can anyone guarantee in a situation where you have the local dwellers, where you have the critical infrastructure,
exactly,
domiciled, lacking basic amenities? So by default, security has been compromised.
It's alienation.
So because security is local, to achieve greater security and development of any kind, it has to be
exactly
domiciled locally. So let the people in the localities, let them own it. Let them
exactly
own the project. Let them have sense of belonging. It's not good enough for someone to have me see me on a television in Aso Rock all the time and talking about their crude and all that in their localities. And
you're not there.
And they're just there, and they can't afford 3 square meals. They can't send kids to primary schools. So what will you expect of the kids that are out of school to do with those pipelines behind their huts and their shanties?
They're alienated from the thing. For all they know, it's there, we are there.
So
they have to own it, it's theirs.
Own it.
And when they start owning it, the sentiment, the central reaction to this is my own. I need to protect it.
Yes.
And start growing from there. And the same principle, for instance, that this school feeding system, for instance, if you feed kids, patriotism naturally develops over the year. You don't have to pick to anybody.
All right. Thank you very much for a wonderful analysis. It's been a very cool conversation, though, just the way I like it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nigerians, for joining us. Okay, let me say compliment of the season. Compliment. You did bring that here for me now.
You know, I was expecting one from you.
All right.
We're going to go to the
Okay, Nigerians, and to round it off, there are so many fake products out there. There has been uproar on social media. We've been seeing a lot. So please ensure you know what you are consuming. And I'm also imploring all manufacturing companies to please come out with clarification as to which of your which products are yours and the original ones, so that we can ensure a very safe and healthy celebration for all of us. Well, once again, congratulations, Nigerians. We have reasons to be positive and hopeful. However, things take time and process, so let's just keep hope alive. Thank you so much, Mr. Abimbola, for being here. It's been wonderful. Thank you very much, Mr. Inuma. I look forward to seeing you maybe in the new year.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year once again in advance. Thank you so much for watching Editors Forum. I am Layo Shobo for Lauren Show. See you on Saturday.